Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 225 on March 10th. I think it's the 10th.
It is.
2021. Is that right? It's
that is correct.
All right. Well, I am Clyde, and today I'm joined by Matthew Russ.
Yes, I am. How are you today, Clyde?
I am me, as always.
You are. Are there days when you're not Clyde?
Maybe. I don't know.
On those days when you're not Clyde, do you feel like less of a Clyde or more of a Clyde?
I don't. It's hard to explain.
Or are you more of a PoodlePuncher at that point?
There's definitely at least one night a month where it's full on PoodlePuncher. But
that's not during the full moon, is it?
No. Well, sometimes.
Oh, okay.
No, it ends up being a Saturday that is scheduled on a day that works with my other schedule. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you got to make schedules work. You make sure that you get time for you, and also you get time for PoodlePuncher. Okay.
Yeah.
You got to make things work in your life. Otherwise, if we don't make time for ourselves, what are we here doing?
Yeah, well, it's what they, how does that saying go? If you're going to go PoodlePuncher, but never go full PoodlePuncher.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I
might have that wrong.
Just to be clear, I have never gone full PoodlePuncher.
Okay.
And that, by the way, should be a title. Oh, my goodness. You know what I've been, I'm super excited about? I just really wanted to quickly share.
What's that?
I got a new Xbox controller, which is going to be, I'm going to be setting up to be doing some streaming. Oh, you got the blue one.
Well, I ordered
That's the one
I ordered it directly from Microsoft.
Okay, well, there were blue. There was one blue one at the store, and it was $65.
Yeah,
this was on sale for $50.
Yeah, that's why I went through the website. Was because I kept going to the store and I couldn't find them at the store, and then it was like more expensive, and then just figured, well, I'll order it. I'd never ordered anything directly from Microsoft outside of their training program.
Right.
And I was surprised because I ordered it and 2 days later it was here. It was fast.
So I have an old Xbox 360 wired controller here, and I've used it for years because it's like an old reliable, and I can plug it in and it works on everything. So very happy with it. Excuse me. And it's been a rock solid device for me, but it's wired, which is a good thing in many cases. I prefer wire in most cases, except for couch gaming, when you want to be more than 10 feet away from the TV and playing. Then the wireless suddenly starts making sense. One thing I didn't like about this controller, besides the fact that the analog sticks are asymmetrical, they're in different spots. I like them to be the same. Actually, I like them to be up here, like the old Wii U controllers did it. But besides the point, is this D-pad, this directional pad, the digital one?
Yeah.
It's not very good. It's not great. It's okay. It's actually not bad, but it's not great. It's very easy to accidentally, if you're trying to get a straight to the left or to the right or the bottom or straight down or straight up, to accidentally roll into the corner, which is not what I want. I was worried that I was going to get the same thing with this, and I can tell you very clearly and happily that this D-pad is super clicky and super accurate. And I love this D-pad.
I would say because I'm coming off of the basically same controller. I've been using my Xbox 360 controller for 10 years. The only reason I'm upgrading is because I've been using it for 10 years and I've basically worn it out.
Right.
But the funny thing is that is the thing that you're talking about is exactly why one of the main reasons I don't like this new controller.
Really? You don't like that?
I don't like the clicky. I don't like it as clicky. I've just gotten used to. I've gotten used to the feel of the one. But what's funny is on the Xbox One controller, they went to the PlayStation style. They got rid of the circle, so it was just the arrow buttons.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping to get,
and
actually. But this was on sale, so.
Well, I was going to say, they went back to the 360 style because people complained.
What?
And I will say, if you're playing a game where you have to hit angles, having to position your finger between and press two different buttons at the same time is annoying. So bringing back the disc was a good idea, because that was one thing they really got right with the 360 controller. Yes, it was not as reactive, but I kind of liked that. I kind of liked that there was a little bit more forgiveness, and but.
So I'm coming from mostly a Nintendo background, which is definitely the Plus style. And that being said, this is a good compromise. I will say that this disc that's clicky with a bit of ease in the controllers, it is a good compromise. It is enough of a easy to find the cardinal directions style controller for me that I would feel comfortable with this. Versus not having something much more, more Nintendo style. So I'm okay with this. I think that's acceptable, Microsoft. I think you did a marvelous job on this controller. Good job. I'm excited to play more with it. I've only played a little bit with it. So it works with everything. So I can go to my phone and play. I'm going to try playing Stadia on my phone with this. That's one thing I wanted to do with it.
Well, that was the whole reason I got this one, was because I wasn't happy with I liked the Stadia controller, but I didn't like the fact that I couldn't really use it the way I wanted to. No. So that's why I got this.
Can you use it on your phone yet?
Oh, I haven't tried. I don't play games on my phone. My phone is for alarms and calculator and
calling people. And think of that.
No, it's for pushing the volume button when calls come in, because I don't take calls. You can send me a text.
But then picking it up and answering the text that comes to cut shortly after that, right?
Just send me a text. Right. I will say the other two things that annoy me about this controller, aside from the fact that Microsoft, seriously, these need to be wireless or rechargeable right out of the box. That's just stupid that you require, sure, if you want to make it accept AA's, that's fine, but you should include the rechargeable battery, not charge an additional $30 to $40 for a recharging stand and battery. That's just stupid. But that aside from that, I like the bigger thumbsticks on the 360. There was a bigger dish that my finger fit into nicely. These ones are very small, like
these are concave.
Tees.
These are concave.
The other one was concave as well, but not since they were bigger. The dish was more
not as it's not as deep.
It was more gradual.
Yeah, and if you ask me, I want convex. Okay. I don't want concave.
Then you want PS4, or you want a PS.
You saying I got the wrong controller? Well, I bought the wrong controller.
Well, not really. If you're going to use it with Windows, then no. Yeah. And the other thing is the texture. It just annoys me.
I love this texture. It is so wonderful. We'll see after a couple of hours of playing it, but
it just irritates me. But nice. I mean, there's certain textures that I can't stand against my skin.
Don't get me wrong. This is like a fairly medium grit sandpaper, but yeah.
and I mean, what they did is good because, yes, my 360 controllers were always slippery. Yeah. It needed something, but.
And not that rubber covering. That is the wrong
Have
answer,
you seen
sir.
Have you seen the texturing on the PS5 controller?
I have not.
Somebody put it under a super microscope and noticed.
Was it all the symbols?
It's all the symbols. And it was clearly hand drawn because there are symbols superimposed on top of each other in a specific pattern.
Nice.
And that
Sony,
I thought was pretty cool.
Sony, you guys are nuts. That's all I gotta say.
And it's so small. It's like the fact that they were able to get that detail so small. But it's, yeah, the XO triangle square all stacked. And they're stacked in ways that they create the grip.
The pattern.
And I want to know who figured that out. Who was like, I'm just going to put my controller under a microscope and, oh, what do you know?
Well, that's got to be one really nice mold that they, the master mold they used to get that. So that's true.
So,
but that's okay. You know, you can use these to control your smart TV and such, which is why this is what we're talking about. It's totally related to what our show is all
also,
about,
it ties into last week because you remember last week we asked why didn't they spend the time to make the additional hard drive port available? Apparently because they were spending all their time trying to figure out how to get their symbols to be grip on at a microscopic level on their controller. So we now have the answer.
Maybe Microsoft just copied them, and they just instead that what you're seeing here when you get in there at a microscopic
I'm pretty
level,
sure that this is
just
like
a bunch of X's. It's just a bunch of X's.
This is Braille, and if you were to decode it, it's going to say something like patent,
Sony sucks.
No, it's going to be like this.
Oh,
is
legalese, legalese
thing that blah blah blah, and yeah,
secret messages from Microsoft in legalese,
basically.
Yeah, your EULA, by holding onto this joystick, you agree to our EULA. No.
By using this controller, you agree that we are not liable for your carpal tunnel.
Yeah, I could imagine that being in there.
Like that.
If you get, it's your own damn fault.
What I would think would be amazing, though, because they've got the grip up here on the triggers.
Yeah.
If that one spells left and this one spells right.
Yeah, that's why we sort of they have the L and R and the ZLZR and or whatever they decide. I always hated those names because you like
L1, L2 on PlayStation. Here you've got LB, RB.
The bumpers.
You've got bumper and trigger.
And trigger.
And then LS, RS for right stick, left stick.
Okay.
Which, I mean, makes sense.
Well,
at least that's a little bit better than L1, L2, L3.
Yeah.
Well, which is which and why? What is the basis for number one?
And the Nintendo solution is that they're LR and ZL and ZR. So the Z key is always the lowest one on there. So
see, that was the thing that always confused me about Nintendo products was because they had the Z and X, and it was like with my 3D printer I can't keep, or when you were talking axes, I can't keep track of H, Z. H I can understand horizontal, but Z or X,
Y, and Z coordinates.
Yeah,
that's what most people use in the math.
But
world
that's what I say. I can never keep
spaces.
track of that there, so putting it on your controller doesn't help me.
No, it's just how much you want of that is just they had to have something different than everybody else. So and when they introduced the Z button was when they I believe was with the Nintendo 64, which is when they had that weird 3 controller option.
The
So they had
dog
an L,
bone.
an R, and a Z.
That thing was stupid. It was
No, it was
like
great.
you hold it like this, or you can hold it like this.
Yeah, you get to choose
that's
which.
natural.
No, it didn't. No, it wasn't that bad.
I never could play that thing.
The genius design behind that was it was the first time an analog stick was ever used.
Oh, I get that.
And they couldn't fathom in their heads how in the world are we going to dedicate a way for you to hold on to it and have access to that. So they decided,
let's just have another. Use an analog stick.
They used an analog dial.
No, no. I mean that only in Warlords and like Breakout, but I mean the actual Atari stick wasn't that analog?
No, very digital. Okay. If you take that, you could see the giant buttons it pushed. It was not analog at all.
All right, I never took one apart, so
Nintendo is actually pretty much they get a lot of the we did it first, in a lot of their stuff. So they push the controller scheme all the time. So that's their thing. But you know what? This isn't a show about video games. Not necessarily.
I mean, it could be.
I guess.
There's nobody here to tell us not to.
That's true. Those guys, they left. They're not here. We can talk about whatever we want, right?
They're both down there in Florida, living it up. So,
man, Florida. I don't know if I'd want to go to Florida right now. I mean, maybe.
Why?
I mean, how's the weather?
Oh, it's probably pretty good. It's no different than any other time. It's Florida.
It's probably pretty good. Yeah.
It's okay. Sunny with a chance of alligators.
That's a sequel to
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I don't know. Okay, so if they were here, what would we be talking about?
If they were here, we'd start off by talking about a platform finally getting access to a hardware platform finally getting access to a software service, probably a video streaming service. Like, for example, Google is beefing up their YouTube Android app for the Chromecast. Normally you would have access to a fairly basic player in the Chromecast app, and apparently the newer version is going to be much more like the desktop version, where you're going to have easier access to things like to decide choosing which resolution you're going to be getting on there, choosing whether or not it's going to have access to your stats for nerds, for example. This newer version is being A/B tested out for some Android users to be seen, and this is looks like it's going to be coming out in the future for everybody.
Yeah, so basically if you have used Android TV ever, this is what it's basically going to be like. It's going to be more akin to using Android TV with the bars of things that you like, things that it thinks you will like, and things that you have watched. Here's the next video from that person, so I think that's good. It's been a while since I've used a Chromecast. I got one back in December and I never plugged it in because it came with the Stadia controller.
Right.
And then I boxed up the controller and I gave it away.
Oh, okay. All I've got to say is that that interface that's on the Chromecasts and that's on the TV and Android TV and all that, that's an okay interface nowadays. It's gotten better over time. It used to be, I wouldn't prefer it. Now it's pretty equal to what we see in other platforms. And if you ask me, it's probably a good idea to standardize between all the different platforms into a single looking interface. And so if that's their plan, could it's possible we see something like this on the Windows desktop and on the web interface? I don't know. Would be quite a different change for everybody there. So I don't know how that would work. But if they also are just unified everywhere else to be this format, maybe that's the way they should go.
Yeah, I don't think I would like that in my browser.
You like the current interface?
It's fine. It's one of those things that it serves its purpose. It already provides me with too much stuff I'm not interested in. I don't
and too many ads.
I don't need it to add like even more ways to give me. Well, I don't see any of the ads. Thank you, ad blocker. But
see the pre-show.
No, it's just YouTube seems to think I need to be watching more than I do.
That's always true. I mean, whatever you're watching.
That's also like, what makes
now that you're done, you need to watch
avoid
this.
YouTube as much as possible. I go there with a specific mission, and then I get out.
I have been watching YouTube as my primary actual thing I watch nowadays. But there's specific channels I like watching. I watch them, and then I'm done, and I get out. But my amount of time I spend watching is so narrow after everybody's gone to bed, and I just needed some time to just sit down.
I'm willing to bet the VOD Squad is not one of them.
Actually, I sometimes turn it on just to see. Hey, there we are. Hey, that's me. And then it's like, okay, I've had enough.
As with most people that stumble on the
channel. No, that's enough. I don't need anymore. But I do listen to us often, almost all the way through. I often listen to our show, and so absolutely.
See, that's one of those things that I'm caught between like most people that don't like listening to themselves. I have the added thing that just like movies and TV, I don't like watching stuff that I've already seen. So I don't want to listen to a podcast that I've already heard.
All right, future Clyde, who's listening to this in the future and realizing that you've listened to this. We know that you don't like listening to this. Why are you listening to this? Yes. You have our permission to stop listening to this now, future Clyde. You can stop now.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right, what else
we have another hardware platform with another software streaming service coming to it. This is going to be, a thing. Hey, Imdb TV is a streaming service that comes from Amazon. Yep. It's their free streaming service, which is ad-supported, which has a lot of different shows and movies, much like many of the other streaming platforms. And it's been coming out to different platforms, but it is now officially available on your Android TVs, including the NVIDIA Shield, the TiVo Stream, and the Sabrina. So,
yeah. We talked about this a few weeks back where it was finally on the Roku.
Mm-hmm.
The thing, or then it was also finally on the Fire TV, which was the one that was baffling.
Wow, that was like last week. It just
exactly. Amazon finally supports Amazon.
I think that's the title, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Good job, Amazon.
But no, it's good to see that it's finally rolled out. Basically,
you guys are
everywhere,
raking it in, Amazon. I can't believe how well you're doing this. It's amazing. I have poked my head in Imdb TV. It seems like this, like all the others to me, of just okay. Is there anything I want to watch? Not so much that I don't want to watch the ads. Okay, I'm good. Never mind. I'm out.
The benefit of Imdb TV is if you're using IMDb and you happen to be looking at a show that is on IMDb TV, you can push a button and go straight into it. That's if you're using your browser.
Oh.
I don't see that same benefit if you're using IMDb TV on a set-top box.
Okay.
And which is why even though it was available on the Roku, I haven't used it. I finally got around to installing it on my Roku today, or my Rokus, but I haven't opened it because I just logged into my Roku account, did the channel store, found it, and pushed install. So it automatically installed them, and I haven't turned on any of my TVs, so I don't even know what it looks like. But yeah, no, happy to see it everywhere.
Okay. How about we talk about another platform getting access to another streaming service? Hey, F1 TV, that channel that provides you with the streaming of all your F1 racing titles. Actually, I don't know if it's all of them or not. I believe Clyde will have more information on that.
Yes.
It is coming to multiple platforms. Right now, it is available via AirPlay and Chromecast support, and Apple TV, Android TV, and Fire TV apps are coming later.
All right. If you go back to Clyde, I think it was 2 summers ago when they announced Formula One TV.
Back then, he looked pretty much the same hair, same beard.
Yeah, pretty much. The same. I said the service seemed cool, but the fact that it was only available via browser was stupid.
Right.
And they needed to get it on the devices.
I believe that was a nice epic Clyde rant.
Oh, probably.
It was a pretty good one.
It doesn't take much to get one of those.
Oh, really?
I mean, we had one just a little bit ago about bumps on my controller, but not quite as epic. But the epic was more the battery.
And you're right. I didn't pay a thing for it, so yeah, it doesn't take much at all.
No. No. I mean, this is about time. They get AirPlay, Chromecast support, but I mean, the apps are coming. Which is a good thing.
Yep. They're coming, but how soon? I did not see in here.
Hopefully before the end of the season.
No, don't count on it.
Last year's season was stupid. So it didn't really matter. Just because they, scared people that I might get sick sitting alone in my own car.
First half of the season. And so that's for the iOS, Android, and Amazon Fire tablet devices and Roku. First half of the season. Apple TV, Android TV devices, and Amazon Fire TV devices are in development. Will also be launched later this year. So maybe not this.
See, and that's what I was saying. They need to get it out there as soon as possible, because once the season ends, this service is absolutely pointless.
Oh,
I am though. I know that I'm curious to see how they're gonna use the in-cam selection in the app, because that is the main thing that makes this service compelling, is the fact that you can jump between cars and you can see the driver's cam from their perspective in your favorite car.
Do they have rear cams?
What's that?
Do they have a from the back point of view of a car cam?
They have. I haven't used the service, so I don't know what all. I know they have a couple different camera angles to choose from. Primarily, the one that most people want are the helmet mounted, or I think it's the camera's mounted just above the helmet. But you can see pictures. You can see pictures of it in the article.
Another thing to note here is that they've upgraded the streaming quality to 1080p at 50 frames per second. 50 frames per second because I'm guessing because it's English or England and Europe. They tend to have the 60
it's
frames.
Everywhere but America.
Yeah, that we do the 60 stuff. And at first I was thinking finally 1080p, but then I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's right. These cars are going super fast and getting streams through super fast things. That's not easy. And if they're getting
remember when people were complaining about motion blur from from people running on a soccer field on LCD TVs? Imagine these cars driving by at like 5 to 20 times that speed.
So I retract that thought of that's not that good. I'm thinking now that's actually pretty damn good.
Yeah,
they can do that. That's good. I think that's awesome.
Although, mean, this is where like your 120 frame interpolation really would come in handy. You even at 120 frames per second, you're still gonna have blur as these cars go zooming through the corner, or the straights. Absolutely. Especially in the straights. It might be a little bit better in the corners, but as they have to slow down to a crawl.
Although the camera has to turn, though, is often. Well, I'll say. That's all right. Well, how about another platform getting another streaming service? Vudu is finally coming to Amazon's Fire TV devices. That's right. There was another. What do you think? Is it the fact that Amazon Fire TV is finally getting Vudu?
It was the fact that Walmart was trying to sell Vudu forever.
Okay. The fact that Vudu is basically, in their own words, a dead service.
Well, I mean, I think they couldn't sell it, and they finally just said, all right, let's put it on the Fire TV. Although I don't think it was Walmart that was holding it up. I'm pretty sure
Vudu
it was Amazon
sale.
because Amazon didn't want the competition because Vudu does pretty much exactly what Amazon does, except it's tied into this ecosystem that is shared between Google Play Store, Disney Plus, Disney Movies Anywhere, a whole bunch of Apple. You're basically opening up all the Amazon alternatives in this one. But I'm pretty sure if you have Disney Movies Anywhere, don't they show up in your Disney Plus catalog?
They do. Well, I don't know if they show up in a Disney Plus catalog, but but actually Amazon is now part of that too. So Amazon stuff.
Then that would be
your movies will even show up on your Amazon catalog. So
okay. Well, then that would make Amazon, sense that, But then also if your Vudu, or if your movies that show up on Vudu are also in your Amazon library, why do you need the Vudu app on the Amazon device? I want to be able to access the same movies through an extra couple steps.
I don't know. Oh, by the way, it's Vudu looks like they were purchased by Fandango.
Oh,
and so they're the ones.
Time ago.
Yeah, and so they bought it last year.
Oh, really?
And so, yeah, apparently, according to the article, so Fandango owns Vudu now.
The only reason I ever had
get it on all the platforms.
The only reason I ever set up a Fandango account was back in like 2010, 2011. They had a deal because they signed up with the Ultraviolet Vudu stuff. And if I created a Fandango account, I got to choose 3 free movies.
Yes.
And that's why the only reason I have any movies in Vudu is because I created that Fandango account. And that was over 10 years ago. So the fact that Fandango's just now bought them is interesting. But yeah, Walmart was trying to sell them forever.
Wabbit inserted the obligatory disclaimer about Tom Merritt's wife working for Fandango.
Okay,
so that's important. Hey, how about we have another another platform getting access to another software service?
I don't know.
Jeep's 2022 Wagoneer is going to have Amazon's Fire TV built in. That's right. You're going to be able to get yourself a brand new 2020 Jeep Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer SUV, where you're going to have access to all of their wonderful Amazon Fire TV entertainment system built right into it. That's exactly what you want, right?
I mean, for passengers, the ability to have their streaming app, yes. I think that makes sense. The fact that it's Amazon, I find annoying.
It's not just Amazon stuff. It's an actual Amazon Fire TV.
Exactly.
So
that's what I'm saying.
Like an Amazon Fire TV stick.
I've got this smartwatch thingy here that would be awesome, except it has Alexa integration. I don't use Alexa, so therefore all of the voice and everything is completely useless. The only thing this thing does is count steps.
Side note, which model of smartwatch is that?
Oh, this is the Wise, like $40 Wise watch. It's actually pretty decent, but it would be great if it supported something other than Amazon. But going back to this is I use Android Auto.
Right.
I don't want the Amazon stuff.
The good news is it looks like it will be able to use Android Auto and Apple's CarPlay inside it as well. So you will just be able to choose, I guess. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I agree though. The fact that it essentially is that you even though you're going to be buying this very expensive vehicle, you don't have the choice of which you're getting an Amazon Alexa device inside there.
Yeah, and that's what annoys me is because with these, it's not like you can just be like, I don't like the radio and I'm swapping it out. Those days are gone because the stereo is completely integrated into your vehicle. It controls all of the services in your vehicle, so you can't just be like, yep, put in the thing I want like you used to. Yeah, I wasn't planning on buying a Wagoneer, but I think we just guaranteed I'm definitely not buying a Wagoneer.
What? You don't want that thing? Why not? I don't understand you, mister. It's a cheap Wagoneer made by Fiat. Okay, we'll move on. How about this? If you are somebody who's been thinking of cutting the cord, hey, welcome to our channel. We're really happy to have you. And there's lots of options out there. Here's one, YouTube TV. You might have thought about it and maybe you've been thinking about it for a long time and haven't yet decided to cut the cord to try out YouTube's TV platform. It's basically an over the internet version of cable television. They are offering you for a limited time a really good offer. Their offer is unlimited, a free 2 weeks of the service. And then after that, they will go ahead and give you $30 off. If you, after that initial 2 weeks, you commit to a 3-month service. So $30 off when you prepay for 3 months.
So
not bad.
if you prepay for 3 months, you're basically getting a month half price.
Right,
it's around
and also
$60 a month.
And there's a 2-week trial in there as well.
In addition, but yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's not a bad deal. This is limited time, so
March 16th.
Yeah,
March 16th.
So you've got 6 days.
Yep, that's
next
okay.
Tuesday.
The 10 minus 5, 10 or so people who actually listen or watch this are likely to see it within those 6 days. So it's okay.
Yeah, if you're listening to this a year from now, you missed out.
Yeah, it's okay. By then, it'll YouTube TV will be $99.
But then again, why are you listening to this a year later? Because it's like all old news,
dude. This is because this is going to be a classic. This is going to be like the one that when back in March 10th.
This is the breakthrough
March 10th
episode
of 2021.
It only took them 225 episodes to start to kind of get an idea of what they're trying to do.
That sounds about right. Come on, that's not so wrong. I don't understand the problem. It's fine. How about this? Google TV. How about they're getting access to another streaming platform? No, they're not. They are actually getting a new profiles coming up in this month. They're getting an access to set up profiles for access to your Google TV platform, which is just a skin on top of the Android TV. But that skin will include the option of providing you with a kids access mode. That means that you can have accounts that are limited to what should be age-appropriate information, and we'll try to keep YouTube from. We'll try to keep also YouTube into more age-appropriate channels as well. So, just like all the other platforms, having the profiles is great, and so I'm all for it. And I'm also for having a nicer, easier to use kids version of the interface as well.
See, I've always been in favor of profiles at the UI level as opposed to the app level, because if you're all using the same UI, just because Netflix has a profile for your kids and one for you, what's to stop your kids from just using your profile and accessing what they want? At least if you have, at least if you've got it set up for a different profile for the UI, you can specify in this UI only these apps are available, and you can actually lock it down so that, because I don't think there's any reason that your kids that any kid should be watching Stars or Epics. Not that they're bad channels, but they're not known for children's content.
There's some movies that are probably
there might be
way, but
a couple
yeah,
movies, but it's not something that's going to be that kids are going to be surfing through there. But there is much more chance. They're much more likely to find something you probably don't want them to watch. If my 8-year-olds were watching P-Valley just because it had a bright pink, flashy title card. Yeah.
Well, I have to look up P-Valley.
I didn't know what P-Valley was. That's a show on Stars. It's about time. It's only been like 10 years.
Oh, okay, P-Valley, gotcha. All right.
You see what I'm talking about? You
see
the title card, it's like kids.
It's flashy. All right. ESPN Plus live sports and originals are now going to be available within the Hulu app. This is their integration of taking some of those ESPN products and moving them into the Hulu streaming app for ease of access. And they're beginning to do that, and you will be able to start seeing much more of their programming later this year. This includes things like, UFC pay-per-views and some of the MLB, Major League Baseball, some tennis and golf, college sports. So this is all the kind of stuff that is now going to be surfaced right inside your Hulu app, so it's easy to see.
So first of all, I wanted to just say ESPN and Disney and Hulu, I'm glad that you finally took my recommendation. I would like to know, when am I going to receive compensation?
Are you asking me? Or are you asking?
No, I'm making this statement out to them.
Gotcha.
Nobody's reached out to me, so I don't know when I'm supposed to receive compensation.
Because I've got an answer for you if you're asking me.
Oh, yeah.
Never. Never. I'm not going to compensate you for your idea. No.
See,
I'm not using your idea. No.
And
but I don't know.
This goes back to when they first announced the Disney Plus bundle package, and they threw in ESPN Plus. I think my exact words are, nobody is going to watch ESPN Plus unless it's integrated into Hulu. Why aren't they integrating this into Hulu? Because it makes absolutely no sense to be standalone unless you're only subscribing to ESPN Plus. And who the hell is going to subscribe to ESPN Plus by
not
itself?
The other stuff? That guy really into basketball and doesn't want to watch anything else.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He's really into basketball, but he doesn't care what games he's able to see. Sorry, it's only the North Korean Invitational because that's the only thing that they could get.
Yeah,
and that's basically just people standing around.
I'm just guessing. I'm making up words here, trying to make it make sense. And
is getting all the baskets.
He always gets all the baskets. That guy's good. That guy could dunk.
It's almost like they've got the ball on a tether.
It's almost like that. You're right. Yeah. It's almost as if it's movie magic or something. I don't know. I don't get it. Oh, so it looks like AT&T is up. Oh, of course. That AT&T is increasing prices for legacy DirecTV Now and AT&T TV Now plans by $10 a month. This is an interesting story because guess what happened?
This one makes me laugh.
My wife signed up for AT&T on her phone. She and the rest of her side of the family decided to get together and get a giant big group plan. Yeah, the big group plan was a good deal because actually, when you get all those lines, it's pretty inexpensive.
That's why I'm still on AT&T.
So and at the time they said, and we have this great offer. We'll give you AT&T TV Now for $10 more a month. And my wife's like, sure, we'll get it. And well, they have been slowly creeping up the price all along for this whole time. We've been talking about it, and I've last week I said, "Hey, are we still paying for AT&T TV now or whatever it's called now?" And she goes, "I think so." And we turned it on, and yep, we can still access it, so we're still paying for it. Then we looked at the bill because we saw this in the news that we're up to $10 more. We were paying $75 a month for something we were barely using, and we already have YouTube TV, which we do use much more, which is $70 a month.
Are you at least getting the free add-on of either HBO, Showtime, or whatever?
Yeah, we were getting the free HBO Max for a little while because that was part of it. But we were thinking we were getting that because we were, getting like fairly inexpensive. Maybe it was up to $30 a month or something. No, it was $75 a month by that time. We didn't realize it until we looked at it. And so we just recently lost. We have, I think we have it until the end of the month, our HBO, because we've turned it off. So we'll see if we pick it up in a different way. But yeah.
So the reason I was laughing is because just a couple weeks ago we discussed how AT&T is basically trying to shut these products down.
Yes, they are. It seems quite clear now.
They're already being sunsetted. I think is the word that was being used. So they're basically punishing the people that refuse to get off of the platform. They're like, get off so that we can shut it down, or we're going to charge you more.
Clyde, no, you've got it wrong. Turn it around. That guy who's still paying for it is punishing AT&T, making them keep that stuff running.
There you go.
They're making them still provide that service.
They're raising the price to put pressure on him to get him
to
go. And
that guy is going, no, I have
money to burn. And
I will burn money to make you have these encoders and these servers and make you have this internet and this big facility. I am going to be paying through the nose so that you have to support this infrastructure. Then someday, after like a couple of years, it's $200 a month. Then they'll probably finally say, and we're finally shutting it down. We're like, oh.
See, and this is like one of those situations where a company will come in and buy up an entire neighborhood. But there's like one person that absolutely will not sell, and they don't have to. The law is on their side.
Yep.
And it's costing the company tons of money because they can't move forward with the thing. And I cheer for that guy. You just described that guy in this space. And
I know.
I'm all for that. If you've got the money to burn and you want to keep paying for it, you can.
We applaud you, sir. We support you wholeheartedly.
And the worst part is he's probably not even using it.
No. Why would he use it? It's okay, sir.
So they could shut it down and he wouldn't know, and they could just keep charging him. But
well, you never know.
Yeah.
No. I suspect there's actually some legal where they can actually shut it down. And
they can shut it down, but just it's cheaper to just provide a direct peer-to-peer stream to him than to operate all the servers that are accessible to everybody that aren't using it.
Fair enough.
So, no. Yeah, but nope. If you're, for whatever reason, you're still on AT&T, whatever they're calling it now, used to be DirecTV now. Just go someplace else. They clearly don't want your money.
No, they clearly want your money. But they want all of your money, or for you to move on. Please give us all your monies or move on.
All your base belong to us.
All your.
Yes.
I can't think of a good way. I know. All your base.
Mm-hmm. You know what else belongs to us? All of the money that has been provided to us every month by our loyal patrons.
Oh,
the people that support this show, whether it be due to some sort of misguided loyalty, or maybe it's dementia. I don't know. But we
like
don't
50-50 so far.
We don't judge.
Judge? No, of course not.
We
applaud.
Like a like I was gonna say like a mega church, but no,
No,
that's not
not
the
quite.
right direction.
We're not there.
I was gonna say we're not pushing you into supporting us, but
we're not
we do appreciate it as much as
like a micro church.
there you go, Mike.
Not a mega church. I don't have no idea.
Well, the
church.
Bible does say where two or more are gathered, so I guess that would be considered a micro.
Until this becomes a solo podcast, guys, I gotta say.
Hey, we've got two. Wherever two or more are
Exactly.
gathered, we have the VOD Squad. So all of you that have been supporting us, thank you. If you would like to support us, every little bit helps. And that is patreon.com/the VOD Squad. And on that note, let's rant and or rave. Alrighty, what you got?
3 items today for me.
Okay.
First thing is WandaVision.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it, the ending was satisfactory.
Okay.
I would say they ended it correctly. I think it was fun enough. And I have to say, I'm not a big reader of the comics, but I do understand that the Vision and is a very interesting character, and how they dealt with the Vision in this ending. I rather enjoyed it, quite frankly. And I've read some people say this was the most Vision thing they've seen them do with him yet. And so I won't spoil anything.
So would you say that the writers or the creators had a proper vision for this project?
I would say that the creators of this show read a lot of the comics and stole a lot of stuff loosely from the comics, because a lot of the stuff did come from the comics, I've learned.
So did their vision come through in the final production?
In multiple ways.
Okay.
All right. The next thing I wanted to talk about was Coming to America, and that is coming number 2 America.
I was going to say that movie from the 80s.
Yes, that movie from the 80s.
Glow. That's it. That's the only impression I do.
Only thing that did not come forward from the first one that I hoped would. There was no Soul Glow.
Because I think Jerry Curl actually had made a comeback at one point, but
he might have. I don't know. All I've got to say is that I was kind of hoping that we'd see something about Soul Glow in there, and it did not show up, and neither did that character, which is too sad. But everything else in that movie, so it's what do you expect this movie to be? Well, guess what? That's what this movie is. Mm-hmm. And they do a good job. They hit all the right notes. I enjoyed the first one, which means I enjoyed the second one, since they were essentially doing the same thing again with a newer look and new jokes. And my favorite part of the whole movie, easily, is the funeral. It was amazing.
There was a funeral?
Yes, there was.
Was it for Darth Vader?
Yes, it was.
Oh, I figured. I haven't watched it. I haven't had any desire to watch it, partly because I have fond memories of the original.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not usually a fan of hey, we don't have any other ideas, so let's just resurrect this thing from like a long time ago, because it's not usually handled well. And so
some of my favorite sequels are, in fact, let's rehash the first one, but from a completely different point of view.
Or a revival? Because this would be a revival, I think.
No, I literally mean rehash. For example, a movie that literally takes the first movie and just turns it on its head and does something completely, and just asks you to take a look at it from a different point of view, but essentially it's a very similar movie. I actually like that, because then you get to both sides of that coin, kind of looking at things, and if it's done well, I like that. But you can only do it once. That's the thing. You can do it once and then you're done. And I like this movie because it kind of lightly does that. It's not trying to do that. It's not like really trying hard to lean into that like some movies will do.
But then again, you got to remember the movie-going populace are morons. And this has been demonstrated by the fact that was it last year or the year before where A Star Is Born was the biggest movie. Remember that?
Yeah. I didn't see it.
Yet A Star Is Born, that is the fourth version of that movie.
Yep.
I mean,
well,
you had the Barbara Streisand with Chris Christopherson version, which was the second. You had a what's her face from the Wizard of Oz version, which people think of as the first one, but it was actually just a remake of a completely different movie with a different title. And it's just, but I mean, Wabbit says fourth version and they've all done well. And that is my point, is people that go to the movies are morons and they will spend their money on anything. But
you can get into superhero movies and the fact that they've rebooted them so many times.
Oh yeah, I hate that. I absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's one of the many reasons.
If you want original, if you're looking for originality, and well, here's the thing: Coming to America is not a reboot in that way.
No, it's
not. I would recommend you watch it because if you like the first one, I think you'll like the second one just as much.
Yeah,
it's fine. If your kids, if you're okay with your kids watching the first one, then you'd be just fine watching this one with them too. So watch it with them.
My kids, I don't think they'd have any interest. But I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. All right. That's no big deal.
No,
and last thing I wanted to talk about is I'm considering upgrading my son's computer.
Okay.
He has a pretty old computer. And I bought it because it was cheap and put it together for like almost no money because he really didn't need much. But now he's kind of interested in playing some games with me.
Mm-hmm.
So like, okay. So I talked to my wife, and my wife said, "Well, it's his turn. You should get him something nice." It's like, okay, we're gonna look at getting something nice. And graphics cards suck right now.
Oh, they have for the last year.
They're horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been looking for a graphics card, and I mean, I want to get a cheap one, and they're $400.
There are no cheap ones. The market had finally started recovering from the whole mining fiasco, where people were buying up all the video cards to mine bitcoins or mine digital currencies. Mm-hmm. That was finally recovering from that when everybody went home, and then they bought all the graphics cards, and there's been a shortage for over a year, despite multiple new launches of new products. So I'd say it'll be at least another 6 months.
Well, so my only saving grace is that I usually shop at Newegg, and Newegg's been doing something called the Newegg Shuffle. Now, I don't know if it's really a good idea or not, quite frankly, but the Newegg Shuffle is their attempt to prevent people from the bots from getting them and scalpers from getting them and all that. When the shuffle, they announce the shuffle's happening, you sign up and say, okay, great, I'm interested in this card. And then they put everybody everybody has to be logged in. So with a Newegg account to put their name in, then they pick randomly out of however they do the random choosing system to pick the people who won the right to buy the card, essentially. And I've entered to the shuffle twice for a $330 card, thinking, dang, that's a lot of money. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily want to spend that much money, but it's cheaper than even the really crappy ones out there, and it's the brand new card. So yes, I guess I'll spend that money. It's okay.
Do you have a choice in what version?
Yeah.
Is it like a 3060 or 3070?
When they bring it up, they actually bring out all the different cards that this shuffle includes. So this last couple times, there was a couple 3060s, 3060 Ti's, and 3070s that were going to be available for, and it's just, there are lots of them. And also that first one, there was also a PlayStation 5s that were also in the shuffle too. So not just graphics cards, just any really hot item.
You join in the shuffle to try and get a graphics card, and they're like, "Hey, congratulations, you won. Your card has been charged. Your PS5 will be shipping shortly."
No. You select all the items that you're interested in purchasing.
Okay.
And at which point you enter the shuffle, and when you enter the shuffle, they can say, "Oh, you've earned the right to purchase." You actually still can decline if you wish to, but you've earned the right to purchase the one of these things that you have asked to. And I always just select one thing because I only want the not the overclocked version of the card that's extra $100. I want the 3060. I want the 3060.
The 3090 because it's the only, you want two of them because it's the last one that still has an SLI capability.
No, SLI I've never been a big fan of, except for back when Voodoo 2 was a thing. Then I'd be like, yeah, give me SLI Voodoo 2, absolutely. But no,
I can get you SLI Voodoo 2.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, I want
$700.
Yeah. You can't even mine anything with that. All right, that's my rant. So I can't
was
even
gonna say good luck because
I can't spend money, guys. I can't spend money. That's my rant.
And the reason I say good luck is because last year, like you said, the mining finally died down and prices started to normalize. They say probably about 6 months the graphics card supply levels will normalize and the prices should go back to normal, but it's becoming popular again.
Streaming?
Mining.
Ugh. No. So, hey guys, you're everybody's poo-pooing, things like Stadia, and guys, this might be the only way we can play games. So, it's okay. Stadia might be good. Seriously, stop being so negative with it.
It might be a time for people to figure out how to make their own graphics cards from parts.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's a good idea. I think I could do that. I could make.
I learned how to etch. I learned how to etch PCB boards a long time ago. It's actually pretty easy.
Is it acid etched, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It just you just need a laser printer and transparency.
Oh.
And
okay.
Oh,
that's it.
But it's a matter of you got to design your card, and
oh yeah. Oh come on, those guys. The good news is there's probably some open source designs out there.
But that's what I'm saying is this I think is what the market is needed, because up until now there's really been no reason to expend the effort and the time and effort and trial and error to make your own custom graphics card. I think this now is the time.
I know I've seen a YouTube video of a guy who said I made my own graphics card, and so yeah, I don't know if he made one using somebody else's chips, or he literally figured out how to get a very simple VGA card out of it, kind of thing. But yeah. It's probably very possible, guys.
Well, over the last couple weeks, I noticed that my computer, my hard drives were basically full, and I'm going, what the hell is going on? I've got two 1 terabyte M2 drives. I saved most of my stuff in the cloud, and I was trying to figure out what the hell is taking up so much space. And I started digging, and I realized the VOD Squad has amassed 500 gigs of content. This is the stream that I save locally when we stream. Then the edited version of the audio. Also the raw files from the meeting that is being recorded locally for use now that we're doing it through Zoom. And all these things have added up over the last 5 years. So I'm not wasting, I'm paying for 100 gigs on the cloud. And
you're not going to spend money and put.
I am not spending money. I mean, we've already got it uploaded on YouTube. We've got it, the audio versions on archive.org. But this is one of those things where you could, you don't want to delete the stuff because you never know what you might need it for. YouTube may go away.
Yeah,
you know, whatever.
That's fair.
In the past, it would have said, just burn them to DVDs.
Right.
But a couple weeks ago, I found out my DVD burner had died.
Oh, no.
Don't know when because I haven't used it in so long. It could have been like over a year. It's at least, I mean, the last time I used it was over a year ago.
I forgot I had one of those.
Exactly. That was the thing. It's a cup holder.
I got one of those and this guy.
Well, I mean, it's at the point where if I push the open button, it doesn't even stay open. It just immediately closes like,
no, it's one of those.
No. So I was trying to figure out what to do, and then I realized 2 terabytes.
Nice. Solid state?
Yep.
Okay.
But then I bought this, and then I remembered what ended up being the result of your Seagate experience. Did you ever get your hard drive back?
Yeah. Okay. If you remember, I discussed that I was upset that they hadn't brought it back.
Yeah.
And eventually they did come back with a replacement drive, and they upgraded me from just the NAS drive to the Iron Wolf Pro, which is the Pro version of that NAS drive. So
it must have been that week I was out because I never heard the resolution. Okay.
They finally gave it back to me, and it was the Pro version of the drive. So, and it was brand new, and it was like, okay, you're forgiven.
Yeah. All I got to say, this took forever. USB 3 is fast, but 500 gigs
is a lot.
Is a lot. My computer is much happier. I mean, it wasn't like acting up or anything, but when I hit Windows key E and the window pops up, I don't see like these nearly full drive markers that hurt my OCD.
I'm sorry, man.
But I think it was worth. I think this was Costco like $100 ish. Okay. But nice thing about SSDs, as long as it, physically works, even if I can't write to it anymore, they fail like where you can still read them.
You want to power it on every once in a while, and like leave it running because it's full of capacitors, and capacitors leak.
Yeah.
Even if that thing can die on the shelf every once in a while, so you will want to plug it in and leave it plugged in for like a good couple days, and it will refresh all those cells on its own with its own garbage collection. But you can leave it on the shelf for a while.
That's what I'm saying. I don't have any place to put it right now, but I'm looking for a place where I can just basically throw it.
SSDs will eventually fade into not working on the shelf, unfortunately.
Yep.
But they might take 10 years. You never know.
That's better than spinning drives that
you try to turn on and they won't even start spinning, or they start spinning with
they start sounding like Chewbacca with a lisp. And I had one to make his noise. It sounded like Chewbacca, and I purposely didn't, even though I got all my data off of it. I left it in the computer because I loved hearing that noise every once in a while. I just stopped putting stuff on it. It would, yeah.
Good noise.
Well, so all of the past VOD Squad history is safe on here for me to eventually forget about and end up in a box.
Exactly.
And that's exactly.
Put a sticky note on it.
Just like everybody else that's out there, just forget about it and But if you forget about it, if you forget about us, that's fine. Just make sure your podcast app is set to auto download.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's all we ask.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Just like any other podcaster would ask, please download our show. We don't care if you listen.
But if you're saying, wait, what? Download podcast. Yes, this show is available anywhere that podcasts are available. It's funny how that works. So if you haven't, or if you feel bad because you can't be here on Wednesday nights when we're live at 9 p.m. Central on Twitch, because schedules get in the way. People can't always participate. I mean, you can download the podcast and take us with you. Or you can head over to YouTube and watch the past episodes there, catch up. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button. You don't have to smash the bell. You don't have to be violent or anything.
Don't smash any bells. Bells are not designed to be smashed. Dude, that ruins a bell.
And just like the podcast, we don't care if you want notifications or not. That's between you and your higher power. But we would appreciate if you hit that subscribe, because we are so close to that threshold to be able to get our vanity URL. So no longer will people have to go to YouTube and then search for the VOD Squad. You will be able to go to youtube.com/the VOD Squad. That's what we're shooting for. Squad goals.
Absolutely.
Also, those of you that are here, stick around for the post show. We're going to select a title for tonight that is at tvs.showbot.tv. If someone wants to hit that bang remind in the chat and follow the link, and we will take care of that. Anything else that I'm forgetting before I potentially hit the wrong closing sound?
The only thing you're forgetting is that it's really nice to have you guys here every time we're on.
Absolutely.
Thanks. We appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody, for hanging out, and we'll catch you all next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.